There she was, just a walking down the street singing. Tapping her fingers and shuffling her feet singing.
Lyn Rowe, my special guest, diddy Lyn, certified financial planner. I've been in one of these music moods today. They were even playing a song I wrote 40 years ago.
Oh my.
And recorded about 35 years ago.
Oh my.
The Happy Song. It's a very bubblegum song. You would have thought Bobby Sherman was doing it. But in either
There's
event,
a name from the
I've just
past.
been in one of those moods today, and I don't want you to be a downer because you're talking about long-term health care.
I'm not a downer.
Yeah. But I do want to talk to you about when you're doing long-term care planning.
Right.
Whatever that may be. I think I know what it is, but you can, refresh my memory.
Sure.
What are some of the important points you discuss? And I hope how you pay for it is one of them, because
absolutely.
That's what I'm most concerned about.
I know it is.
Because my suspicion is there's two reasons why people don't do it.
Yeah.
One is, never going to happen to me. It's the other guy that gets it. And two is, if you want me to spend what?
Yeah. Yep.
Am I right?
You're right. Those are what I call the stall points. Yeah.
Okay.
There's a few stall points in the
So why
process.
don't we go through those?
Well, first of all, there are 5 steps in the financial planning process for long-term care needs. First of all, what are the chances? So education.
2/3.
Yeah, education.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
Jeannie or me.
Yep. Every couple are, if you look at the probability compared to the other probabilities in your life, and you have insurance for those things, but you don't have insurance for that, it's just not fiscally sound.
Yeah, once every 100 years or so, a flood comes to South Carolina and people lose their homes, or a fire comes to Northern California.
But they all have flood insurance, yeah.
They all have flood insurance.
Yeah.
They all have fire insurance.
Yep.
And most of the time, we don't complain about it.
Yep.
Because in many instances, it's mandatory.
Yeah.
Government obviously can't make long-term care insurance mandatory.
Yeah.
If they did, then they'd want to be involved, and we'd have Obamacare for long-term. They tried to get a long-term care in Obamacare.
Yeah. And they realized they can't.
Can't afford it.
Yeah, can't afford it. Can't afford it.
Even
they got it.
Cost enough.
Yeah.
Without it. But if you added long-term care, premiums would have gone way through the ceiling.
Let's go to the deeper pockets. So the second step is, what is the cost? So when I'm talking to someone in Texas or Oregon or Florida, Alaska, we look at the different costs for the skilled nursing, for the intermediate care like assisted living, and for home care. Now, 70% of the claims that go into all these insurance companies in all these states are home care claims. So
because people want to stay home.
They do want to stay home. They want to be with their family, their friends, their pets, their stuff. They just want to be in their own territory. So what we try to look at is, what does it cost to be at home with enough hours covered so that, the family gets a break, they can, get some sleep and get some things done. And then the next step is, what are the resources? Okay, so do you have VA capability? Is there a VA possible benefit there? Do you have any other kind of insurance that would pay at that time? What kind of income do you need? And that we go back into the financial planning arena and say, okay, in retirement, how much do you need from the portfolio? Okay, can the portfolio cough up another $70,000, $80,000, $90,000 and not get hammered?
Each year?
Yeah, each year. And most cases the answer is not. And then we look at the budget. Okay, what can people afford? Just be realistic about it and say, okay, here's the dollar amount. Rather than getting the cart before the horse and saying, okay, what are the benefits now? What does it cost me? What can you afford? Can you afford $4,000 a year? Can you afford $10,000 a year? Can you afford $1,000 a year? Give us some guidelines so we can actually work with those numbers. And then the 5th step is, what is their role? So if they say, okay, I can afford, a couple $1,000 a year, I'm single, I can afford a couple $1,000 a year, we figure out the best bang for the buck with all the carriers. Okay.
Well, what I love about what you do is you have solutions even if people can't qualify.
Absolutely.
This is so important, because I remember years ago, I was a general agent. This goes back at least 20 years ago. I was a general agent for one of the preeminent long-term care insurance companies.
Right.
As you well know.
Still is.
And still is.
Yep.
And back then, only maybe a third could actually qualify, because by the time people started thinking about buying it, it was too late.
Well, what we know is 12% of people under 50 are getting declined. 12%. That's a lot. 50 to 60, 20% are getting declined, and 60 to 70, 25%. So, you know, I can maybe get it for a guy and not for his wife, or for the lady and not for her husband sometimes. So that's when I do the pre-qualifying and we find out. But let's say we come to a place where, and I've got a couple right now, they can't get coverage, neither one of them, but they both understand the need.
Because of medical conditions?
Because of medical conditions.
And
they're working, they're fine, but these are chronic conditions that are debilitators over a matter of time.
Okay, so you've been able to get them some form of coverage.
Now what we've done is we've looked at the alternate care plans, and I'm telling you, from state to state, there are packages that we can put together with a combination of, say, short-term care, critical care, and home care plans. We can put a package together that covers pretty much all the bases.
That's impressive. You talked to me about that. If they can perform the activities of daily living, they can get this.
Oh, yeah.
If they can't perform,
well, we even got solutions then.
Do you really?
If they have life insurance. And it doesn't matter if it's group coverage or you know, term, personally owned term, or whole life, or, you know, it doesn't matter. We can turn the spigot on and get them an income.
So even if that life insurance policy doesn't have some kind of a built-in rider,
right,
you could go, let's say I've got a $300,000 term life insurance
that you bought
policy
15 years ago.
That I bought a long time ago.
It was a 20-year term, and you don't want to change it because, you know, now you've got health problems.
But I need long-term care.
But you need long-term care. It's imminent. We turn on the spigot. One of my vendors will actually take that contract, buy that contract, and pay an income toward your care.
Wow, that's very impressive. This is what Lyn Rowe, by the way, folks, calls long-term care planning. She's not even selling you anything on that deal. She's just helping you out. Go to her website. I want my LTC.net, or you can call her at 877-270-3127. I know the biggest problem, because I know as an advisor the biggest problem I had was motivating people to do this. So since you're tiny and you're not very scary, people should sit down with you on the phone at the very least and talk through their options. It doesn't cost anything to talk. You don't charge for this long-term care financial plan, right?
No.
All right, let's change gears. Younger people. I know you've been trying to reach out to baby boomers and the children of those baby boomers, because ultimately the burden may be on them.
Yeah. Well, and this is where having that health and that ability to get the coverage at a great rate just comes into play. And so again, it starts with the same 5 processes, but we look at the budget. You know, they might be still helping out with kids in college and so forth. So we have to look at what's the cash flow, what can we afford to get, and then we do the shopping, side by side, apples for apples comparison with all the carriers to see who's going to give them the best bang for the buck.
Now your associate, Jean Pastul, who's here all the time, talks about the linked benefits plan. I know you guys work together on those, but to me, that just makes so much logical sense, and gets beyond how much is this going to cost me each month. Because,
well, in the back of their minds, they're self-insuring with some money sitting somewhere. Exactly.
So really, all that is taking money from off of your balance sheet and replacing it onto the balance sheet.
You're leveraging that money up. So if you said to yourself, well, we've got $100,000, you know, in a CD or in the bank, and that's our long-term care plan. Well, then fine. Let's take that same $100,000 and reallocate it into a contract that's going to give you $400,000 of long-term care,
and still maintain the $100,000 of liquidity.
Exactly right.
So you're really not taking money off the balance sheet. You're just moving it on the balance sheet.
Yes.
Brilliant stuff. Lyn Rowe, please get a hold of Lyn and do your own long-term care financial planning. I can tell you for a fact, because I ran, I would say, a pretty successful financial concern. My representatives didn't touch long-term care with a 10-foot pole. It's complicated. You don't get paid all that much money. It's hard, it's grueling, and most advisors just don't want to deal with it. I didn't want to deal with it. That's how I got you involved.
Well, there's only so many plates they can spin.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
I want my LTC.net, 877-270-3127. Lynn.
Yes, sir.
Great job. Thank you so much
Have
for
a wonderful day.
being on the program.
Thank you.
You are the best. I do appreciate it.
Thank you.
Take care. Keep praying for me, will you?
I am.
I'll pray for you too.
Please.
We're in a prayer group right here on the Ray Lucia Show.
Prayer partners.
844-RAY Show if you want to chat. We've got emails coming up, and I got a bunch of them that I'm trying to get to. So I'm going to whip through them with Bobby Wu here momentarily, so stick around. You can email me at raylucia.com, RAYLUCIA.com. Lyn Rowe, thank you.
Thank you, Ray.
I want my LTC.net. I'll be back.